plenty of fish from the Durban Basin all the way up the north coast to St. Lucia. We are seeing firework.
It's been absolutely stunning down on the south coast. The guys are getting beautiful species of fish. There's been one or two rocket shad caught, absolute rockets.
It's going to be looking amazing. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
There you go, buddy. Hit it now.
This is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Green.
Hey, welcome to another Angler News Report, where this week there has been no drop in form. In fact, if anything, we are getting a sniff of change of species. I know what you're thinking. Is this guy being serious? What is Vinesh going on about? Well, I'll tell you exactly what it is. Guys, at the day of this report, there has been a garrick that has come out from Margate Pier. I thought I was seeing an old post, and then it was verified. It was verified with the video, and it was going all over the socials. Garrick in January. Either something is going totally off with the world, or, well, it's the South Coast. Could we have expected anything less of that? Hence the title of our podcast, All Eyes on the South Coast. Now, don't get me wrong, there are fish all over the coastline. Yes, we've got rods bending on the north coast. Michaela is going to tell us all about that. We've got rods bending in Durban and offshore. And, well, we've got some concerning news from the inland side, so you definitely want to pay attention to that, especially if you're planning some trips up to the Midlands. But, guys, the South Coast has been absolutely firing with such an array of species. The guys are getting fish virtually every day. And the reason why I say virtually is because there has been 1 or 2 days where the weather was a little bit iffy, where there wasn't much bite. But apart from that, it's been full on action. Now, I know you want to get into it. You want to get into those hotspots, those feeding zones where you are going to be fishing this weekend. And trust me, our reporters are poised to give you all that content and news. But before we get into it, guys, another huge, massive mammoth shout out to our sponsors, the Kingfisher.
The Kingfisher are the leading fishing tackle specialist. We stock gear for every facet of fishing, from carp to cooter, marlin to trout. Basically, everything. We have stores across KZN, from Toti to Salt Rock, Durban to Pietermaritzburg. You can also find us online at kingfisher.co.za.
Thank you, the Kingfisher. So, guys, if you haven't heard by now, right, there is 10,000 Rand in Kingfisher vouchers up for grabs. And more importantly, apart from, spending a bit of cash at a tackle store, well, a whole bunch of cash at a tackle store, you get the chance, the opportunity, the privilege, the honor of being part of redesigning the iconic Kingfisher logo. How often would you ever get a chance to do that? Like, virtually never. But this is what's going on right now. It's been 30 years, and the logo looks like it could do with a little bit of an update, right? And now it's nothing set in stone, but if you've got a design, an idea, a thought, a piece of pencil that you want to sharpen and just get something out, this is your opportunity, and you could be that person that has recreated that logo. All right, so that's one way to keep your name staying in the fishing industry till, well, our older days, let's put it that way. But for now, we are not talking about what's happening right now. We are talking about what's happening this weekend. We are talking the fishing news. So let's get into it in my hometown, Durban, with Mike V and Brad Krobler.
How's it, guys? It's been a week of mixed fortunes. Some massive fish hooked and lost, some massive fish caught. It's been so weak on the fishing side. There's been a couple big diamonds around, up to about 80 kilos. Lots of little grey sharks around, lots of spinners. There's been 1 or 2 little hammers around. So the guys have been getting some good bites. On the edible side, there's been quite a few stumpies and grunter caught. Not too many big ones, but there's been quite a few. There's been 1 or 2 rocket shad caught. Absolute rockets. Yeah, so the guys have been putting in the time. We're getting some very nice bite. On the paddle ski and ski boat side, the guys have been getting quite a bit of snook. Those have popped up in numbers. There's been 1 or 2 lovely cooter caught. I heard of 1 or 2 yellowtail on the bottom on the live baits, 1 or 2 yellow fin tuna around as well. So the guys have been getting quite a few good fish on the ski boats and the paddle skis. Durban Bay, lots of grunter, from just size and undersized to some nice ones. A lot of keys have been coming out, big eyes, GTs, things like that, on the slow pitch jigs, bucktails, and the plastic lures. So yeah, guys, go out there, get a bite, have some fun. This is Mike V for NSA News.
Good day, guys. Brad here from Linsky Fishing Charters. Guys, the fishing report from the ski boat of the Durban area. over the last week. Guys, the water temperature has been doing up and down again. Hot, cold, clear water, dirty water. So guys, there were quite a few bottom fish, some really nice ones, really good Englishmen, and some nice John Dories also came out during the week. On the game fish side, yes, we managed to get a couple of Dorado and also the snook and the kuta. Not the biggest of kuta, but the shoalies are definitely around. That's all in the shallows of the Blue Lagoon all the way to Sloky area. Plenty of them. On the deep, yeah, quite a few Dorado still. But yeah, I know you have to go pretty deep to find the clean, warm water. But yeah, otherwise, on a good thing, things are looking better. I say this is Brad for Andy News South Africa. Meet you guys all next week.
Thank you, Mike and Brad. What a great start to the show. And it's right here in my front yard, backyard, well, whatever it is, it's my playground. However, this week I am considering going up north. And Michaela Daniels is going to be covering the entire North Coast reports from now. So let's give a shout out to her because she has some great news for us.
What's up, everyone? This is Michaela from Durban, reporting for Anglo News SA. Wow, what a week it has been, guys. Plenty of fish from the Durban Basin all the way up the North Coast to St. Lucia. We are seeing fireworks. So starting off strong at Blue Lagoon, there's been plenty shad coming out on bait as well as spinning, but there's also been a few grunter and the odd ray coming out in between. Moving up to Beachwood, the guys have been getting lots of flat fish such as lesser sand sharks and rays, while there's been the odd shad coming out in the early mornings. For the Mhlanga anglers, there's been quite a few sharks coming out, as well as the usual scratching species and a couple of stumpy. For the offshore side of things, Durban has been firing with lots of snook coming out of backline between Umni and Glenashley, and there's been quite a few kuta between Mhlanga and Virginia. For the bottoms, there's still the usual rock hard reds and a few late daggers. Moving up to Mhloti, the guys have been hooking into some lovely shad and stumpies with the odd cave bass in between. But for the offshore guys, there's still some snook coming out and plenty of kuta, while the bottoms has been producing some lovely yellowtail amongst the usual rock odds. Moving up further to the north coast, Belito has been firing with plenty stumpy, pompano and shad, with a few inedibles coming out, while St. Lucia has been producing some lovely G's, speckled snapper, stumpies and pompano. For the offshore side, Belito has seen some prize-sized kuta coming out, as well as a few snook, while the tuna and dorado are still around in the deep. For St. Lucia offshore, there's been lots of kuta, sailfish, dorado, and yellowfin tuna coming out. That's going to be it from me for this week, guys. Tight lines and have a great one.
Well done, Michaela. That certainly gets us excited for the weekend. I can't wait to get up there and fish the North Coast. And hey, I'm going to be fishing with Michaela this weekend, so look out for our TikToks. You know we're going to be making some noise out there, especially, well, with some either flatfish or some spotted grunter. Let's see what comes out. Now, let's move on up to the Midlands. Guys, we've got some concerning news. It's vitally important that you pay attention to this one. If you're heading up to the Midlands and planning on going to do some freshwater fishing, Jan is going to give you the lowdown of exactly what's going on.
Hey there, guys. So the weather over the last week has been pretty stable, and so much so that it's got to leave one wondering, well, what else is coming? But the Norwegians of what seem confident in their forecast that the status quo remains for the week ahead. And that is partly cloudy conditions with a spit and a spot here and there and little or no wind. The lack of any major rainfall over the next couple of weeks has the flow of Midmar Dam reduced to all but a trickle. And with no big rains in the forecast, it looks like the wall will be dry again pretty soon. So guys, it's time to take advantage of the moderation in the weather and get outside and throw that line. But with one major caveat, and I say major in the fact of this thing called foot and mouth. The epidemic has come to a point where much of the Midlands has been shut down to limited or essential travel only. And in a notice released this week, the Mgani local municipality has called on all businesses and service providers to take reasonable and proactive precautions to reduce the risk of further spread of the foot and mouth disease. In order to mitigate devastating consequences for local agriculture, food security and livelihoods and the impact on the local broader community, it has been requested that basic biosecurity practices are implemented and unauthorized access to farms, livestock and grazing areas are discouraged or restricted. So to this end, the Natal Fly Fishers Club has issued notice requesting that members go above and beyond to assist all riparian landowners to help them stop the spread of the disease. And so, guys, we call upon you as all to please act proactively as well when venturing out to your favorite fishing grounds. That being said, reports from the trout rivers and streams are varied, ranging from fishable to higher than expected. But all were in agreement that it's not yet quite dry fly water and that some form of heavy metal, i.e. nymphs, and tungsten beads are required, especially for the deeper pocket waters. With cabin fever running high within the ranks of the Natal Fly Fishers Club anglers, some river anglers are already getting out, and one intrepid member finding that treacherous wading and hard work was indeed worth the effort to report fish, that fell into the 13 to 15 inch or 33 to 38 centimeter brackets. But another week or so of little or no major rainfall, and conditions should improve that much more. So guys, watch this space. The NFFC still waters were a little less tolerant of the anglers' affections, with only a single return reporting fish in the 3 to 5 inch or 8 to 13 centimeter fingerling class. But no doubt a reminder that a fish is a fish. And there were some fish reported from private waters, and with the water being coloured up, a black woolly bugger was the one that did the business. Word from the bass anglers is that there's been some small bass, aka dinks, that are coming to hand at Albert Falls, finally, but sadly nothing near anything that this water has produced previously, and as well as some fish coming out of mid-Mar. Good numbers of bluegill, cod, tilapia have also been reported from Alberts. The gold miners at Stokefontein continue to be getting rich. Some excellent small and largemouth yellowfish have been reported in what continues to be a cracker of a season. Guys, do stop in Kingfisher Maritzburg for the best in tackle advice. And this is Jan reporting for Kingfisher Maritzburg and for Angler News South Africa.
Thank you, Jan. That's a great detailed report of what's going on. It's very concerning, guys. Please take precautions. Jan has been giving us the warnings for a while now, and looks like it's gone pretty serious. So please be careful when you are heading out there. And, well, let's move on to the positive stuff. Sterkfontein, go. He sent me some photos, guys. There are anglers holding like slabs of gold in their hand. Those yellows are looking beautiful. Such great sizes. Well, you know what? That's certainly going to be on the cards coming up very soon. But for now, let's head back down to the coast, the south coast, where it's all going on. That monster shad you saw on the cover, well, that was on the north coast. However, guys, there's been so many massive shad on the south coast as well, along with a whole lot of other species, which Ray and Adam is going to tell you all about. But before we get there, guys, please pardon me for my personal promo. Guys, it is The Bait Masters. It was a show that was launched last week. It's a game show all to do with baiting. So, once again, fishing related. That's all we talk about. And, yeah, it couldn't have went better than I ever expected. I wrote out a script. It went beyond that. Now, this is brought to you by my personal sponsors of my vehicle, CMH Photon. I'm Schlanger. I'd like to give them a shout out. That is where the venue was. And this show will be live, I would say early next week. Next week on YouTube, on the Angler News SA page. Once again, listen out for it. Look out for it. It's called The Bait Masters. Now, let's get into the South Coast with Ray Thompson and all that he predicts for this weekend.
The hottest spots have been Scottborough all the way down to Baisley High Rocks, where the guys have been catching sandies, and that has been the target species for most competitive anglers over the last couple of days. Sandies all the way up to 50 kilos have been landed in that vicinity. Also, grey sharks and more grey sharks. For those of you looking for edible fish, Warners and Winkel have been producing a few shad. Other than that, it has been quiet on the edible front. However, there's been a lot of those sea mullet coming up the Lovo River to spawn, and I'm talking decent sized mullet. So if you want to take your kids down there with some bread and a little float, the way our parents used to teach us in our days, guys, go there to Ilovo and go and have some fun in the sun. The mullet are wild. And enjoy, guys.
Thank you, Ray Thompson. Now let's get into the thick of it. Let's get into the meat of it. Let's get into the highlights. Guys, turn up the volume, fasten those headphones, and get ready for our South Coast guru, Adam Lyon.
Hey, Vinesh, I hope you're doing well, my friend, and I hope everybody out there listening to East Coast Radio has had an absolutely beautiful week. And guess what, guys? We're almost at the end of January. We're almost there, guys. Just a couple more days, but don't you worry, child. See, the South Coast has the fish for you. It's been absolutely stunning down in the South Coast. The guys are getting beautiful species of fish, Vinesh. And yes, the shad are back. The guys are getting beautiful, big size shad, but I just have to err on the side of caution because the purple patch is still here. However, that being said, it hasn't been absolutely fireworks. There's been a couple of days, yes, we haven't been able to fish, a couple of days that we have been able to fish, but the days that have been fishable have been ductable, which is exactly what we want. Now, just going straight over to the non-head sides of things, Mo with a beautiful size hound shark. There's been a couple of flap nose around. Jean's got himself a nice hound a couple of days back. It's been absolutely awesome. There's a couple of greys around. There's a couple of smaller hammers around. So yes, the non-eds are here. The sandies are here. The lessers are here. I mean, Margaret Pier, as we spoke about last week, the guys just got off and just landed numerous amounts of non-ed species. So yes, they are here, guys. But we also need to talk about the edible side of things, because at the end of the day, if we don't have the tackle to target a shark or a non-ed, we also might want to go for a blacktail or a bream, which have also been productive. And we might want to take them home and put them in a pot and eat them, Vinesh. Nothing wrong with a bit of shad and butter bread at the end of the day, my friend. But down in the south, that is exactly what is happening. And the guys have been getting beautifully rewarded when they've been targeting edible fish. Now, down on the boats, the guys have got some beautiful bottom fish. The tuna are still around. The dorado are still around. The amberjacks, the yellowtails. It's all been happening, Vinesh, but you have to pick your days, unfortunately. And you have to pick your bait, because that is going to be the poison that's going to get you the fish that you want. Otherwise, guys, stay safe, tight lines, and let's see those catches.
Oh man, Adam, that is looking absolutely amazing down the south coast, guys. It is not joking. He has once again loaded me with content of all that has been going on. I fished there last week. I was speaking to some of the local anglers. Yes, it was going on. All right, so South Coast is the highlight. All eyes are on them, especially seeing that they are the first to start bringing out Garrick already. What in the world is going on? I have no idea, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I love seeing a variety of species. I love seeing monster shad. I love seeing catches all along the coastline. Guys, it's going to be looking amazing. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Get those rods in the air. Get those reels screaming. Get those lines in the water and get those baits. Whoa. Prepared. And if you do not know how, look out for the Bait Masters. It's coming out very soon. It's been another amazing show. It's been another amazing week on the East Coast. I'm totally poised. I'm ready for the weekend. I hope you are too. And guys, always remember, we will be back next week. So until then,
this is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Green. Find more episodes at ecr.co.za under podcasts or your favorite podcast app. Let's fish for the future.